The spring of 2026 is about to be the best spring you've ever had based on today's episode. So, without further ado, let's just get into it. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Cozy and Thriving, the podcast where we just learn to build a life that we actually want to be present for. I'm your host, Michaela, and if you cannot tell, I am ready for spring. Last week, I was like, I feel like this is the first time where I've actually been ready for spring. Like, I've actually been like prepared and wanting it to happen. Usually I'm like, let's just skip it because of allergies or whatever. But thank you, Jesus, that I am healed. Okay, because I don't really have the reactions I used to, and spring is now more enjoyable for me. I don't know if anybody else can like smell pollen, but the smell still kind of like triggers, I guess, like some trauma. I'm like, oh my gosh, do I need to like wear a mask while I'm outside? But no, I do not. I do not. So, anyways, today we're talking all about, oh, what am I doing? We're talking all about spring and just like, I don't know, we all have this like time. I feel like in women, we just kind of like naturally have this like spring cleaning like feeling that just comes out of nowhere, and you kind of know spring's getting closer because you're just like, we need to get rid of this, I want to change this, I want to do this. And I am right there in the same boat with you, but I think that there's more that we can declutter and more that we can do to like refresh our spring this year besides just getting rid of all the stuff that we own. So personally, I don't struggle with seasonal depression, though I can see why people do. The winter is just so cold. It gets dark so early. When it first happens, I'm usually pretty like okay with it. I'm like, ooh, it's a cozy night. Like it's fall time. But I think that between October and December, there's so many things to like do and watch and hobbies that we just feel like are fun. And some of them do include going outside because it's not like negative degrees outside. But when the winter hits, we don't have any of that. So then we start to like picture, like, I'm going to set a scene for you. Okay. Close your eyes. I'm going to set this scene for you for spring. You wake up and the sun is actually coming through your window when you wake up because the days are earlier. Then you get up and you open up all your windows in your house or wherever you're going to be. You may even open like the actual window to get like the air to come in. Personally, again, I don't because of the pollen, but I'm painting a picture for you. So you open the window, you hear the birds chirping, maybe you go sit outside to journal on your patio, your porch, your balcony, your deck, whatever, maybe even just in the grass outside. You just go outside to journal, to listen to worship music, to just listen to the birds, to just touch grass. Okay, maybe you're doing all of that. And then you're seeing like the flowers start to bloom and it's starting to look gorgeous outside. And you're just like, wow, it's so beautiful. So you're seeing now that the world, like as the world is like blooming, you're going back inside of your house and you're like pruning. And even though that's okay, like, it's totally okay, I do it too. I think sometimes we also have to think about, like, the growth period for us and why we feel the need to prune everything when everything else around us is blooming. So instead of you looking at spring cleaning as, like, I'm getting rid of a bunch of stuff or I'm pruning or I'm, like, it's almost like a negative thing, if you look at it more in the lens of like you're just making room for that new growth to happen. I think that for me, when spring cleaning comes, it usually is like another like stage in my life where I'm just like, okay, I'm getting older. I want my stuff to like match my age. I think about all the time, like I'm pretty sure that this is still on YouTube somewhere, but me and my husband had a YouTube channel together and we did an apartment tour of our very first house. And every time I look at that apartment, I am like, what in the world? Everything that you see in that apartment was given to us. And then I tried to DIY it and I wasn't that good. So it just looked like we were literally living. Like I am so thankful that we were able to have that stuff given to us and that we were able to have furniture to sit on and a bed to sleep in. We actually had two beds. We had a guest room. Our apartment was beautiful, like everything. I loved it. But when I look at it, now and like where I have evolved to and what I have like curated my style to, it wouldn't have happened if I kept all of that old stuff. So there is some like pruning that takes place, but it's not a bad thing. It's just making room for more. It's making room for the growth and it's making room for you to have a wonderful, wonderful season. And of course, it's helping you build a life that you actually want to be present for. If I was still living in that apartment with all of that furniture, I probably would not be happy because it does not match who I am now. I was 23 when I made that, like when I did that apartment. And the only, I guess, yeah, I guess that was like my first time living like alone. I lived with my parents and then I went to college and me and my roommates, our school had like apartments attached. So I felt like I was living alone, but it was still like all the school's furniture and everything. So then when I got married, it was like my first time like having a home to like decorate from scratch. And I have grown up since then. I will just say, I will say. I do want to say though that even though I think that the pruning process is good and that we are making room for that growth to happen during the spring and then going into the summer and even into the fall, I think that we also want the growth to happen quickly. Like if we really think about it, all of what we see in nature and like when the trees die and everything, all of that takes a year. Like we go from spring, like let's start there where everything is blossomed. Then we go into summer where, everything is still kind of blossomed, but I feel like there's like less flowers. It's more green, it's more whatever. And then fall, it takes like 3 months for everything to like completely die, completely shut down. And then in the spring, it takes another 3 months to fully bloom. But we think that we need to go into our closet and our room and our kitchen and our office and our hallway and our closet, our like linen closets and everything, and get rid of everything in one Saturday. And trust me, I've been there. What usually ends up happening is that my room may be clean, my bathroom may be clean, my closet may be clean, my office may be clean, but everything is in the hallway. And that's where like I walk every single day. It's where people like when they come to my house, they will see that hallway. So then I just kind of get tired and everything is sitting right there. And then I don't actually have the ability to grow because I'm still looking at the clutter. I'm still looking at the everything. And when there is clutter, personally for me, I don't function well in clutter. I don't function well in mess. And usually my home is a reflection of how I'm feeling like internally. And if I can keep my home clean, my internal feels clean, like my brain. So what I would tell you is to like if you are like one of those people that like are like I just want it done, I would say pick a room per day and go through it. But I don't want this to only be like your home. I want this to also be your mental and your routines and your everything. Like I want you to actually be able to go into spring with a plan of growth and not just my house is clean, but it's also like you're bettering your life as well. We're building a life that we actually want to be present for. So if we are only cleaning our home, but we're not doing anything to keep it clean, or we're not doing anything to keep our bodies healthy, or to keep our mental healthy, or to keep our businesses running, or to create well, then what's the point? But something that I find beautiful about our world is that it shows us that there's always time for a fresh start. There's always time for something new. The sun will go down and come up again, and you can start fresh again. So if you are cleaning your room and everything is in your hallway at the end of you cleaning your room, the next day it's a hallway cleanup. If you are cleaning your bathroom and now your room's a mess, the next day it's a room cleanup. I'm using the house because it's just so easy, but this is also for anything with your routines, with your health, with your business. If you're like wanting to eat healthier and you just decided that you went on this like super hardcore diet, I feel like, what is it, keto? I feel like that one is just like so hard for me. But you say you did that and like that's what you want to do, and you are doing good for the first like 3 days, and then you like stop the process of like going into ketosis, which that's like the whole point of keto is to put your body into ketosis, but you eat something that's like outside of that and then your body stops that process. Yes, it's annoying, but you can start again the next day. There's always a fresh start, and our world shows us that just by the sun going down and the moon coming up. But whether it is a Monday of the next week, or the first of a month, or a first of a quarter, first of a season, first of the year, there's always time for a fresh start, and you can always do this. Okay, so remember when I said that I cannot function in clutter? Well, there is psychology behind that. When we prune our space, when we clean our space, when we go about our day to day life, there is less activity that has to like go through your brain, and less processing of our environment that our brains need to do. And it actually clears up your mind just by clearing up your space, which is like actually so crazy that you would never think that like the state of your home being connected to your brain. Like, I don't think anybody thinks that all the time. I think I do, but that's just because I'm into the psychology stuff and everything behind it. But it is so crazy. So I would say next time that you're feeling like a little off, or you're feeling a little sad, or you're feeling like I don't feel like doing anything, like look at your environment and just compare your environment to your brain. If your brain is like, oh my gosh, I'm sad, or I don't want to do this today, I'm not feeling like it, and then your room's a mess, try cleaning your room and seeing how that goes. And that's like, it sounds silly, but literally, I'm telling you that if your space is clean, you will be more productive. I'm the same way with my office. When I come in here to work, to research, to write a outline for my podcast, when I come in here to record, if my office is a mess, I feel like the podcast is a mess. I feel like my job is a mess. I feel like my business is a mess. I just want it to be clean. I want to know where everything is. I don't like junk. Me and my husband talk about this all the time. I am not somebody who will hold on to anything. If I get something to replace another thing, that old thing is gone. And then a couple months later, I'm like, oh, you know, it would have been perfect if we had that after I got rid of it. I just don't hold on to anything because I don't like clutter. And my space that I'm in is big, but it's not big enough to hold all of the things that I buy and get. Our kitchen is very small, so we have very, very, very limited space. This complex has a lot of storage, but not a lot of like shelf space. And so everything's just on the floor, and it is just too much and cluttery. So I will get rid of stuff. I will get rid of it because it won't fit. I also will buy things to make more storage too. Okay. But I do get rid of a lot. But I realize that not everybody is like me, and they will hold on to things because it has sentimental value. And don't get me wrong, I do have things that have sentimental value, and I wish that it wasn't sentimental, because if it wasn't, I would have more space. But it's sentimental. So I do get it. I do understand. But I want you to be able to, when you're cleaning this spring, and even when you're like doing your routines and you're doing your anything to like just better your life, to grow, to become the person that you want to be, to build a life that you actually want to be present for, I want you to ask yourself this question when you're getting rid of stuff. I want you to say, does this serve the woman that I'm becoming, or the woman I was last winter? I don't know why that came out like that. So when you ask yourself that, you'll look at something and be like, okay, I have this right here. For those of you watching, this is my little rest for my mouse when I'm on the computer. If I have a million of these, which I actually, now that I'm holding this, think I have another one that I need to get rid of. But if I was holding this and I'm like, okay, is this serving who I am right now, or is this serving who I was like a couple of months ago or a couple of years ago? And I say a couple of years ago, get rid of it. Okay, just get rid of it like that. I've always wanted to throw stuff like that, but you can just get rid of it. You don't have to hold on to it. Now, if there is a purpose for it, if you are somebody who's like, I like to switch out my decor sometimes, then I understand. I actually do have a closet filled with decor that's like stuff that I can switch it out with anytime that I get bored with something or I have a DIY project or whatever. I do have that. But for the most part, the things that you have that are just taking up space and that are, is this serving who I was, or is this serving who I'm going to be in the future? And I think a lot of times we do that with clothes. Like when I hit 30, there was like shirts and stuff that I'm just like, you know what? I don't really care to wear a crop top anymore. Like I don't really care to have this type of shorts or this type of shirt or whatever in my closet. And even like when it came to my like sprays and stuff, I'm like, okay, first of all, those things expire. So just letting you know. But then also, like, do I want to continue to smell like Fruit Loops? Or do I want to smell like flowers and like a woman, you know? So there's just things that you want to be able to let go of. And by asking that question, it will help you do that. Just think about who you're wanting to be and go from there. So, of course, this does not only mean your stuff, but it does mean your routines as well. And sometimes I think that we try to hold on to certain routines because that's what we see people on social media doing. But is this serving the purpose that I needed to serve? Is this serving the purpose that is required for me to be the person that I want to be and to build the life that I want to be present for? So, if getting up at 5 a.m. is not who I want to be, if I actually care about my sleep and I care about 8 hours and 7 a.m. is okay for me, then let it be 7 a.m. Don't be somebody who's like trying to be a 5 a.m. person just to be a 5 a.m. person. If you're a night person, then just be a night person and structure your life around what you can and can't do in the morning. Now, if you work at 8 a.m., then I understand. It's everybody's life looks different. Everybody's career is different. Everybody's responsibilities are different. So just choose what works for you and not what's working on social media. And that's why sometimes I feel like I have a hard time sharing like this is my morning routine because one, it's never consistent because I just haven't been consistent in that. But number two, it's also not everybody's life. I remember posting something where I was like, here's how to have a whole morning routine, um, like a 3 hour routine before going to work or something like that. And that's because I wake up at 7 and I start my day, my job, what I do here, the podcast, 10:08, everything. I start that at 10. So of course I'm going to have 3 hours, but there's some people that work at 4 in the morning. So they would have to get up at 1 a.m. Like it did not make sense. So it's hard to give you my routines and give you everything because your life is different. So just keep that in mind as well. Like what's serving you? Who are you wanting to become? What's the life that you want to be present for? And prune from there. Okay. All right. So I want to give you some things to do to help you in your pruning season and like help you do it without being overwhelmed. Because if you're anything like me, it's just, I want to do everything right now. Like me taking out my locks was so crazy because yes, I did start it while I was sick. So I was like resting. I wasn't getting up. I was just kind of like binge watching TV all day and I was able to do it. But once I started feeling better and I started feeling this kick of like spring's coming and I want to change things in my house, trying to change everything in my house and do my hair and redecorate and figure out what I need and still do my job all at the same time while also only having like 5 days until I was like going on vacation was absolutely insane. So I don't want you to have that. I know not everybody's taking out their locks and trying to do a million things at once, but we do have a lot to do as people who are building a life that we want to be present for. So I want you to give yourself some grace, but also I have this like 15 15-minute rule that I'm like trying to implement. And this is like helping me get rid of things in small increments and actually getting more done at once. So basically, what you're going to do is like every day pick a drawer, pick a cabinet, pick a closet, whatever, to like start going through to get rid of things. And what I found is that I'm actually able to do more in the 15 minutes because I'm like focused on it. So my closet the other day, I was unpacking for my trip and I was putting everything away, but my closet also was a mess because I have so many things in there. For like my nails, I have just like a bin of books and everything. It was just like all over the place. And so while I was unpacking, I was also cleaning my closet because I was like, okay, if I'm going to keep coming in here for clothes and going back and forth to get my clothes out of my suitcase, I had no space on the floor because it was such a mess. Like if I'm doing that, then I might as well just be cleaning. So every time I would take clothes to hang up or put in the hamper, I would start putting books away. So I was doing this in like a cycle and it took me 15 minutes, literally. It literally took me 15 minutes. So then you can also do your nightstands. You could do a kitchen cabinet. You can do your pantry. You can do your linen closet. And if this is not like a physical like house thing and it's more about your routines, this is something where it's like 15 minutes where you can be like, okay, is what I'm doing right now actually something that I need to be putting on my routines? Like me going on a walk every single day, is that something that I need to be putting in my morning routines, or is that something that I need to be putting in my evening routines? Because I'm trying to work out like the 30 minutes in the morning. So maybe my 30 minutes in the morning workout is not going to also be able to sustain like a 30-minute walk because I have things to do. So just like picking the 15 minutes to figure that out is going to be so helpful for you. I know it will be. And then the next thing, on top of asking yourself, like, is this going to serve who I'm trying to become and build a life that I actually want to be present for? On top of asking yourself that, you want to ask yourself these two things. Does this bring me joy? And is this functional? If it's neither of those things, and it's also not like serving who you want to be, it's out. It goes out. It's like not good. I'm like looking at I have a Polaroid camera. I want to use it so bad, but literally I have no film. The batteries I think like have ruined the bottom and I never use it. The last time I used it, I think, when did I get that? When I was like 21. So it's been almost 10 years. And I haven't used it in like probably 7. So I can get rid of that completely because it's not functional. It's not really bringing me joy because I'm not using it. And I'm not using it at all for it to even be something that is something that I want to become or my life to be present for. Like I have a digital camera that I can use to take pictures and I can print them off if I want to or just have them digitally or whatever. So things like that. Just making sure that it's bringing you joy, that it's functional, and that it's actually supporting your life that you want to be present for. And then lastly, because this is a cozy and thriving podcast, I also want you to redefine what cozy is for the spring. I think that we have a lot of definitions for it when it's fall time because the leaves are falling. We have a book. We can wear our like flannels and our Ugg boots and like be okay. We don't have this coat on. It's like super pretty outside because the leaves are changing colors. We're having we're having s'mores, we're seeing family, we're watching cozy movies, cozy TV shows, we're doing all the cozy things in the fall. But I think that we try to also keep that all year round and like having that cozy in mindset where cozy can look different for everybody. And one thing that I remember doing last spring and summer was I had a blanket that I would take and I would put in I say my front yard, but it's just like a grass patch in front of my front door. And I would just put it out there and I would read, I would color, I would listen to a podcast. I would just have so much fun just sitting outside and having a good time out there. So that was like a cozy thing for me. And then also like going into the summertime, like going to the beach, that doesn't like nobody says, "Oh, I'm going to the beach. Look how cozy." But you get to define what cozy is for you. And if I had to give you like a definition of cozy, it's just whatever puts you in a state of relaxation. Whatever makes you feel relaxed, whatever makes you feel like you have your life together, that you are able to just go and take some time for yourself or go. And it doesn't even, you don't even have to be by yourself. You can be with a bunch of people doing cozy things. It's just whatever brings you some relaxation. So, those are the three things that I recommend doing for your spring pruning, your spring cleaning for this spring. So that way, the rest of the year, like we still have 9 months of the year. So it's not too late to like start doing this stuff now. And if you are feeling like, I should have gotten rid of this stuff before, why do I still have this? Just know there are probably 5 million other women doing the exact same thing right now, trying to get rid of their stuff in their house. So you're not alone. That is all that I have for you today about spring. I'm so excited for this spring and what's to come. I'm also very excited because next month I am starting the Future You Project 2.0 series. We had so much fun with it last year, and I felt like we all just glue up well last year, and we did the things that we needed to do to get to where we are right now in our future. And I just want to bring it back around, and we're going to do some fun things. I'm so excited. So make sure that you follow this podcast on Spotify, Apple, YouTube, and make sure that you like, rate, comment, subscribe, do all the things to make sure that this podcast keeps getting pushed out to other people who just want to live a life that they actually want to be present for, to be cozy, to thrive, and all the things. And I think that's it. So until next time, everybody, I hope you have a wonderful day, a wonderful night, a wonderful evening, a wonderful weekend. And until next Friday, bye, everybody.